Okay, it is 7 o'clock, so I would like to call this meeting to order. Could I have a motion for the adoption of remote participation?
So moved.
So
Second.
moved.
Okay, let's do our roll call. Pam Nurse-Acton, yes.
Michael Ruderman, Arlington, yes.
Dave O'Connor Bolton, yes.
Steve Ledoux, Concord, yes.
Ford Spalding Dover, yes.
Judy Crocker, Lexington, yes.
Jeff Stuland Needham, yes.
Alice DeLucas, Joe, yes.
I'd like to ask if you're not speaking to please mute yourself. And also, if you could make sure that your name is, that you've renamed yourself to your name. So whoever is iPhone, you could mute yourself and rename yourself. I don't have, can someone,
Julia, can you mute? There you go.
Try it again, Julia.
there you go. Thank you very much. And if I could ask whoever is on as iPhone, if you could please put your name in. Thank you. So first order of business is finance report. And under that, we have finance committee subcommittee update.
Thank you. The Finance Committee met, I don't know how many times with both the superintendent, Rich Ikonen, and Nikki Andre to review a variety of budgets. I think we went through like 3 or 4 iterations. So we've looked at them all. We certainly recognize the kind of the trials and tribulations that the district is going through, both in providing services and then the assessments impact and things like that. But based on our review, we as a finance subcommittee are recommending adoption of the budget as presented by the superintendent.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Anyone else from the finance committee? Okay. Should we move on to the first motion?
I have one question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff, I missed you. Go ahead.
My only question is, are there any significant changes in this budget since the last time we discussed it?
Done.
Yeah, that was just like last week, right?
Yep.
Right, and just double checking, you didn't like slip 10 more million in there or anything like that.
He's
So
wise to us now. Oh my God.
just
Yeah.
want that on the record so they know that we've
Right.
spent a lot of time looking at this already.
So I
Yeah.
take the answer to that is no, that there are no significant changes.
No.
Is that right?
I've just got one question. Steve, the moving the money from excess and deficiency, was that in our last budget?
Mhm.
I think that was part of the revenue piece of it.
Yes.
Okay. With that, why don't we put the motion on the table to authorize $650,000 from excess and deficiency fund to reduce member town.
There's a
assessment.
couple more questions, Pam.
Oh,
Pam,
why
Judy.
am I not seeing people? I am really sorry. Judy, I am sorry.
Oh, no. I was like, didn't know if it was my time. Could I ask a couple questions, please, on the budget?
Yes, please.
Thank you. One is kind of ancillary to this. We had talked about this a couple weeks ago, that the school committee members requested to receive some type of an executive summary so that when we all go to town meeting, which I'll be doing shortly, we have the same talking points. So we're all pretty much uniform in our discussion about the member town assessment increase.
Yeah, we can talk. I mean, I thought the presentation and the budget book might give you enough talking points. I'm not sure.
Okay.
We do have well, and you don't need to go to town meeting alone.
Oh, no, I understand that, but
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, no, this is fine. If your presentation is what we're gonna have, I'm good with that. I just didn't know if there was going to be something.
Yeah, and if you look at the first 2 pages of the budget book, there's an executive summary in there,
Exactly.
which,
Yes.
you know, I could distill down for you, and make it more Lexingtonian.
That's okay. That's okay. I just, I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. So no, I'm fine with what we have. I do have a couple of specific questions on the budget, and they're just general questions. There's a couple lines about long-term substitutes and just substitutes in general. Just a basic question: how are we doing with substitutes? I mean, it's been more in the news now than it has been, and it's been difficult from the get-go. So even before COVID.
Substitutes have been an incredible challenge, and what we've done over the last few years, and George iPhone Clement might be able to expand upon this, but we have 2 full-time substitutes. So we have 2 folks that are here every day, all year, and they get assigned throughout the day to different places, and they've been doing a great job, and it's really been sort of our solution. George has unmuted himself, so if you wanted to add in anything, George.
It's been a very good solution. I think the pool of daily subs and even that model is pretty much dead. And I think that's universal. I think people, you know, it's just part of a whole trend of people looking for more money, more benefits. It's not lost on me that both of our full-time subs are over 60 and willing to work and, you know, getting at it. So it's been but they've been great, and we really, really appreciate having them on.
Thank you. Thank you both. My next question is, I think there's like 5 different points under notes where it says the line item was reclassified. Is there a new style going on? Are we using a new template?
No, it's more, Nikki can speak to it, because she's the one that does that based upon our discussions as an executive team, or at the between Rich and I and Nikki. How we've been spending some things gets put into the more appropriate line item. I don't know if Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. We base our chart of accounts and our function codes based on DESI and how we report our end of the year report. So really just looking more closely at how they describe the function codes. There are slight changes every year, so we make sure that we're up to date with proper coding to make sure that when we do our annual reporting, it's all in the right function codes.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Thank you. My next question is, food services went up 50%. Just, I'm going to get
Well,
these
that's
questions, so I
our-
figured I'll ask now.
That's our support. That's the district support to food services.
Okay.
Food
Okay.
services has been running in the red all throughout COVID, because everyone gets basically a free meal.
Mhm.
And if they want more than one free meal, then they pay for it. So we did reduce our staffing in there, and we're looking at different models of delivering food cafeteria services to the school. We're even looking at outsourcing it again.
Okay, thank you. Under athletic services, on the same page, under transportation costs for sports, I just was curious, it says increased training needs and transportation costs under the notes. So I understood we had to travel a lot before we had facilities in the building while the building was being constructed, and now, you know, prior to having fields. But this is for next year. So I'm just curious why you anticipate an increase in athletic transportation.
Well, 2 reasons. One, we have more students going places, and we have to use the larger buses more than our small 15-passenger white vans. That's one reason. The other reason is we're having more sports itself. So for instance, instead of just having a varsity team, we're probably going to have a varsity, a JV, and maybe even a freshman team in some sports. And they may not always be going to the same place on the same day.
Mhm.
So it's just more diversity in the sports and more kids participating. I think this fall, George, we had like 210 kids participating in fall sports, which is great.
That is correct. Yep.
And there's talk of getting a volleyball. Well, we have a volleyball club, but making it a team, expanding track and field because we've got the great facilities now.
Mhm.
Softball is beautiful. I mean, I can't wait to go out there and throw the first pitch.
That's a photo op, yes. And my last question, and thank you all for your patience, on the last page of the proposed changes, it's a 50% change for, and the notes, it says special ed and related evaluation services based on the FY21 actuals. This was tuition to non-public schools.
Is that the $60,000 amount?
No,
say
it
the
went
amount?
from FY22, 20,000, FY23 proposed 30,000. It's the
Amy's,
last, number 9,300.
well, Amy can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that has to do with when a student gets a 45-day outplacement. Or, is that right, Amy?
Yes, that's correct. It's for the 45-day placements when we need to send a student out for evaluation, extra evaluations.
Okay, all right. Those are my questions. Thank you very much for answering them.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, I'd say, Alice.
I have two things. One is thank you for bringing the Stowe budget back from the stratosphere to something that they could survive talking about Monday.
Yep.
And that was great. And then regarding Judy's initial question about the presentation, normally when we go to town meeting, there's a set of slides that is particular to the town. And I'm just double checking that that is going to be something that we have this year.
Yeah, they're all done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Ed and I were in front of the Concord Select Board on Monday night, and we used this Concord specific slides that Ed had put together, so they're going to be available.
Thank you.
Okay. Other questions?
Judy?
Judy.
Thank you for putting a couple slides together. So if they're ready, could we have them just so we could digest them and maybe share them with our finance committees?
Yeah, I'll send you, I'll put it together tomorrow.
Okay,
Send it to
thank you.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Remind me, Julia, okay? There are a lot of meetings in the morning, it seems like.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Okay, now shall we move on in the agenda?
Yeah, just FYI, we made these 3 separate votes just to be real clear and make sure that, well, just to be more clear. I mean, you could move all 3 as written and vote them all in one, but it made sense to do the excess and deficiency. And I do want to remind you that it's not a certified E&D at this point in time. It is a very conservative estimate of what we'll have in E&D. Our certification should be coming very soon, but we're pretty confident in the numbers, and the assessments will not go up. That's why we vote them separately, because they cannot go up once we vote them.
Okay.
Actually, I have one question. So Ed, what does that leave in the E&D fund if we take the 650 out?
Nikki, do you know that off the top of your head?
Yeah, we're estimating that the E&D is around 950. So if we take 650 out, there'd be 300.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions? Is there any objection to taking the motions here as one?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Could I have a motion to, to cover the three points on the agenda?
So
I
moved.
vote that we move all three motions as stated on the agenda together as one vote.
Thank
Second.
you. Is there a second? I'll ask for any other discussion or questions. Alice and Jeff.
For members of the public, they would want to know that we are authorizing $650,000 from excess and deficiency to reduce member town assessments for the FY23 budget, approving the FY23 budget of $29,010,622 as presented, and approving the FY23 preliminary assessments of $22,395,741 as presented.
Thank you. Jeff.
Just a few comments. First, I'd like to congratulate the superintendent on his final budget as superintendent of Minuteman. Second, I would like to also congratulate him on the improvements made to the presentation of the budget book during his tenure, which have been absolutely enormous. Every year there's some improvement, but the template that he has put out is exceptionally clear and useful. And I'd also like to congratulate him on the fact that we are doing this with so little controversy. And the reason is because of the actions of the superintendent and the FinCom and his administration. This complicated thing has been done in a way that's transparent and clear. And that makes this time of year a lot smoother than it was at some points in the past. So this is something that is incremental first massive improvement and then incremental improvement throughout all the years. So I just wanted to comment on that before we took this vote.
Thank you. And that's obviously not just me. Nikki and Rich and Sonia and Denise and Julia, it's a real team effort. And the fact that we let teachers have a voice in how we spend and budget is so critical, that everyone has ownership and they care about their budget and they want to make it work for themselves. So it's a collaborative process.
And that's called leadership, in case some people in the world don't understand that.
Thank you, Jeff. And so any other comments or questions? Okay, let's take a vote. Pam Saxton, yes.
Michael Ruderman, Arlington, yes.
Dave O'Connor, Bolton, yes.
Steve Ledoux, Concord, yes.
Ford Spalding, Dover, yes.
Judy Crocker, Lexington, yes.
Jeff Stula Needham, yes.
Alice DeLucasto, yes.
Okay, well, congratulations, everyone, on passing the budget. I'd like to second all the, thanks and comments that Jeff made. Would also like to give a special thanks to the Finance Committee for all of your hard work as well. It's very much appreciated. Before we adjourn, you will be hearing from Julia that we will be having a meeting next week, an executive session on contract negotiation next week on Thursday. So I think just about everyone responded. So if you want to mark your calendar early, we can mark it for Thursday. Is there anything else? Okay, could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, let's do a roll call. Pam Saxton, yes.
Michael Ruderman, Arlington, yes.
Dave O'Connor, Bolton, yes.
Steve Ledoux, Concord, yes.
Ford Spalding, Dover, yes.
Judy Crocker, Lexington, yes.
Jeff Stula Needham, yes.
Alice DeLucasto, yes.
And just to clarify, the meeting Thursday will be remote by Zoom. So,
Thank you.
So thank you, thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
I really appreciate the hard work that went into getting us here today. So thank you.
Night.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, enjoy the weather.
Right. Good night.